You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we meet again. My name is Clint Davis. To the right of me is Dennis McCaslin. Still penciling in some notes. We've got the starting lineup for the Stillwell Lady Indians. And now we're about to have the starting lineup for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. I sure wish I could read Dennis's handwriting. I thought I was going to get a roster that might be printed out, but we're not going to go that route. So I'm probably not going to call any Stillwell names because I cannot read this. So here for the Lady Bulldogs, number 14, Taylon Collins coming out first. And our homecoming queen for the night, she is a senior, number 15, Cameron Johnson. Nothing but net, Hannah Boyette, everybody's favorite. And number 23, Madison Chambers. And here we go, last but not least, number 33, Shaylin Mays. And Coach Jana Armour being introduced to the crowd. Everybody knows Coach Armour. So we've got our final huddle to the left of the half-court line. And we are about to have a tip-off. There is no one who compares to the 6'1" Taylon Collins, so I imagine we're going to see a Lady Bulldog controlled jump ball. Just like we always do. And we're clapping it up on the Lady Bulldogs side. Here comes the referee with the ball. It's up, and Taylon Collins tips it to Stillwell. That's a rare sight. The Lady Indians over on the left side of the court. Pass down low. The Lady Bulldogs have come up with the ball. Taylon Collins with a shot down low, no good. Gets her own rebound. It goes back up for 2 points. And that's good. The first 2 points of the game belong to the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. At 7:20 left in the first quarter. 2-0 is your score. The Lady Indians now. Ball at the top of the key. Pass over to the right with a drive on the inside. Pass out to the three-point line, and a shot for three is good. And the score is 3-2. Stillwell with the lead. Pass over to Madison Chambers at the three-point line. She's going to drive and pull up for a jump shot, and that's good. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs take the lead back 4-3. Stillwell Lady Indians trying to move the ball up past half court. Top of the key now, pass down low. Picked off by Taylon Collins. Fast break over to Hannah Boyette. Hannah's going to drive and get knocked to the floor and lose the ball. And Stillwell controls the possession now. Here's the drive, coast to coast, nobody in the lane, and she misses a layup. Rebounded by Madison Chambers. And Stillwell, they're just slapping the ball away left and right. Now they've got it on their side of the floor, and a shot up down low is good. And Coach Armour's going to call a timeout. I would too. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Well, I'm going to cut off Stephen Doe. We're going to bring you back in live. Timeout over. We want to thank Sequoyah County Farm Bureau for their sponsorship of Bulldog basketball. Here's a pass over to Cameron Johnson, back to Hannah Boyette. Back over to Madison Chambers on the left side. Cameron Johnson now dribble to the top of the key. Pass over to Madison Chambers. Down low to Shaylin Mays. And Shaylin's going to lose the ball, and now we're going to have a jump ball down low. The ball will stay with the Lady Bulldogs. Hannah Boyette tries to pass to Shaylin Mays, and the ball is going to go past half court. So that is a backcourt violation. Dennis finally has his headset on now. Here's the inbound pass from Stillwell. Lady Indians bringing the ball up the floor. Stillwell has a 1-point lead. 5-4 is a 3-point shot from way out near Grandma's house, and that's no good. Taylor Collins with the rebound off to Madison Chambers with a shot for 2, and that's good. And the Lady Bulldogs lead 6-5. Here's the inbound pass picked off by Madison Chambers, and she loses it out of bounds. Stillwell Lady Indians will get the ball back. Inbound pass now by Stillwell. Not so much pressure from the Lady Bulldogs. Moving the ball up the floor, right down the middle, puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Stillwell. Another shot right in the middle of the lane, no good. Rebounded by Chaylin Mays. Hannah Boyette over to Madison Chambers. Back to Hannah Boyette, top of the key. Back over to the right to Madison Chambers. Down low to Taylon Collins. And Taylon's going to lose the ball. Stillwell now with the ball over on the left side, and a shot for 2, and that's good. Stillwell regains the lead 7-6. This is very uncharacteristic of the Lady Bulldogs. Dennis over there with the type A flu. Taylon Collins now down low to Cameron Johnson. Back to Taylon Collins, down to Shaylin Mays. She goes up for a shot and gets fouled on the way. So Chaylin Mays going to the line for 2 shots. Red 3 with the foul. Plesia Bishop. I'm guessing that's the name just by looking at the handwriting. Chaylin Mays, first free throw good. We're going to see Paige Hughes and Chelsea Passage come into the game. Another shot up by Chaylin Mays, no good. Rebounded by Taylon Collins, and she is going to get tripped, but they're just going to call her out of bounds. Alicia McCloria comes into the game. Coach Armour not having much luck with her starting 5, so she's got 3 new ones into the ball game. McCloria, Passage, and Hughes, along with the 2 starters, Hannah Boyette and Taylon Collins. Here's a pass over to the right side by Stillwell. They're looking for a drive. Kick back out to the top of the key. Over to the right side. Here's a pass down low. And a shot up is no good. Rebounded by Taylon Collins. She gives it off to Alicia McCloria, who brings it up the floor and passed over to Hannah Boyette in the corner. And down low. Taylon Collins back to Hannah Boyette for 3. That's off the mark. Paige Hughes going for the rebound. And Alicia McCloria with the ball. She's going to kick it out to Taylon Collins, who drives in. Puts up a shot, no good. Own rebound, and she does put up a shot. That's good for 2. The Lady Bulldogs regain the lead, 8-7. And Stillwell bringing the ball back up the floor now. Pass over to the left, and a shot for 3 is good by the Lady Indians. Stillwell leads this game 10-9. Chelsea Passage bringing the ball up the floor, pass down to the middle to Taylon Collins, and that's going to get knocked out of bounds by Stillwell. And the Lady Bulldogs have possession of the ball. Hannah Boyette taking the ball out now into Paige Hughes. Paige is going to dribble around, give it to Alicia McCloria. Off to the right to Chelsea Passage. Back up the middle to Paige Hughes. Over to Hannah Boyette in the corner. Back to Passage on the right side. Back to Hannah Boyette. She jukes. Passes it to Paige Hughes. Off to McCloria. Passage on the left side. Paige Hughes, top of the key. Over to Hannah Boyette for 3. Off the mark again. Stillwell Lady Indians with the rebound. A lot of pressure here from the Lady Bulldogs. There's a pass over the half-court line and a dribble down the middle. And a shot up is good. And the Stillwell Lady Indians lead 12-9. This is very rare. 3-point lead in district play for an opposition team. Here's a pass down to Taylon Collins over to Hannah Boyette. She's going to skip pass over to Paige Hughes, over to Passage. Paige almost loses that ball, or Chelsea, I'm sorry. There's Paige Hughes with the ball now, and she's going to give it back to Hannah Boyette, and Hannah is going to slow it down. Pass over to the right, back over to the left to McCloria, back to Paige Hughes. Passage with a little dribble and a pass over to Paige Hughes. Back to Passage, down low to Taylon Collins. Out to Paige Hughes, over to Hannah Boyette for three. And she finally drains one. The score is tied 12-12 with a minute and a half left in the first quarter. And here's another three-point shot, no good by Stillwell. I'm afraid Stillwell is going to live and die by that three-pointer. Terrible makeup call by the referee. They called a travel on Passage. And now the Stillwell Lady Indians with the ball out of bounds. There's the pass inbound. Bringing the ball up the floor, and they're going to call a foul on Chelsea Passage. And she looks a little winded. We might need to bring her out of the game. Who knows? There's a steal by Passage. She's good. Fast break up the middle, and that's good for two. That's why I'm not coaching the team. Chelsea Passage looking a little weathered, but she's okay. 2 points up and in for the Lady Bulldogs. They've got the lead. There's a ball knocked away by Taylon Collins. With 48 seconds left in the first quarter, Lady Bulldogs lead 14-12. Madison Chambers now coming into the game for Passage. That's a good call. Hughes and McCloria still the two lone Lady Bulldogs coming off the bench here. Chambers, Boyette, and Collins, the three starters in the game. Stillwell trying to do something with the ball, and they don't do anything with it. We've got a 5-second violation. And the Lady Bulldogs will have possession with 39.9 seconds left in this first quarter. Hannah Boyette in absolutely no hurry. Pass over to McCloria, past half court, back to Boyette. Hannah Boyette holding the ball now. 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Here's Hannah over to McCloria on the left side. Taylon Collins at the top of the key. Back to Boyette for three. Nailed it. That is good with 2 seconds left, and that's going to do it for the quarter. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 17-12. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Hey, we're going to bring it back in live. The timeout here, or the break between quarters, almost over. There's one buzzer.
I don't remember a game recently, Clint, where the Lady Bulldogs were trailing with a minute and 9 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yeah,
I don't remember many games where they've only led by 5 after the first quarter either.
Usually it's about 19-6 right now. But the Lady Bulldogs have a lot of basketball left to play. We've got some subs in here for Stillwell. The Lady Indians are going to have the ball to start the quarter. Slowly bringing the ball up, Madison Chambers. Heavy defense. There's a pass down low and a shot up. That's no good. Rebounded by Stillwell. Blocked by Taylon Collins. Paige Hughes with the ball now. Over to Taylon Collins, and she's going to drive up the floor. And she's going to spin around and put one up off the glass. Good for two. The Lady Bulldogs are up 19-12 here at the start of the second quarter. Now here come the Stillwell Lady Indians. Pass off to the left side on the three-point line. Looking for a drive. Dribble over to the top of the key. She's going to have to get rid of it, and she does. Hannah Boyette playing defense now on her lady. Pass over to number 2, who belongs to Madison Chambers. Now we've got a pick set, but nobody drives on that. Another pass at the top of the key. Stillwell having no luck going anywhere. Pass over to the right wing, and now a pass down low. And here's the drive down the middle. And Taylon Collins goes for 2 blocks and doesn't get either one. Stillwell is going to last touch that ball out of bounds. That will be Muldrow ball. And Madison Chambers out of bounds. Hannah Boyette bringing it up the floor now over to Madison Chambers. Back to Hannah. Back to Madison. Down low to Shaylin Mays, and she's going to go up for 2, and that's good off the glass. Lady Bulldogs lead 20-12. This is the lead they're looking for. Now here comes Stillwell back down on the other side of the floor. Taylon Collins with heavy defense. She's looking for that pick. Taylor Collins gets in there and knocks the ball away. She's got the ball, passes it off to Cameron Johnson. We've got all our starters back in here for the Lady Bulldogs. Cameron's going to give it up to Hannah Boyette, top of the key, close to half court. Back over to Cameron Johnson for three. That's off the mark, rebounded by Stillwell. Lady Indians bringing the ball back up to their side of the floor. Pass down low and back out to the three-point line. The shot up down low is good. It looked like it came from behind the basket. Lady Indians with 2 more points on the board. And here's Taylor Collins. Stillwell with probably the best defense I've seen played on these Muldrow Lady Bulldogs. There's a pass down low to Madison Chambers, and she puts one in for 2. Lady Bulldogs lead 23-14. Three-point shot good by Stillwell. 23-17. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Hannah Boyette bringing the ball up the floor. She's going to get fouled by Caitlin Livers. Or maybe it's Livers. I don't know. I didn't ask. So we're going to see Alicia McCloria out of bounds now, passing the ball in to Hannah B. She's going to bring the ball up the floor. Back over to McCloria at the three-point line. She's going to give it off to Taylor Collins in the corner. Back down to McCloria. She's going to kick it back out and throw the ball away. Here comes the Stillwell Lady Indians. Hannah Boyette with a block, and that ball goes out of bounds. Great play by Hannah. And the Lady Indians out of bounds now. Here comes the inbound pass. All the way out to the three-point line, and a shot for 3. They got to quit leaving her open. She missed that one, but here comes Taylor Collins down the floor. She's going to take it all the way to the bucket. She puts up a shot for 2, and that is good. She draws the foul, so she will go to the line with a chance for a three-point play. So Taylor Collins now about to get set for her first free throw. And the shot is up and no good. They call a lane violation on red. So Taylor Collins will get a second shot from the free throw line. Second shot is up and good. Muldrow leads 26-17.
Collins with 12 already.
And the Stillwell Lady Indians bringing the ball up to their side of the floor. Pass over to the right. Looking for a place to go. Pass down low. Picked off by Cameron Johnson. She's going to bring the ball up the floor. Down low to Taylor Collins. Up off the glass. Good for 2. Lady Bulldogs now with a 28-17 lead with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. Stillwell bringing the ball up the floor past Alicia McCloria. Here's a drive down the middle, and that's good for 2. Pass in to Hannah Boyette. 28-19, 3:49 left in the second quarter. In the first half, it's almost over. Alicia McCloria down to Taylor Collins. Over to Hannah B for 3. Booyah! Money, money, money. Hannah Boyette drains another three-point shot, 31-19. The Lady Bulldogs lead. 3.5 left in the second quarter. Three-point shot, no good. Rebounded by Chaylin Mays. Ball over to Hannah Boyette. She's going to dish it all the way down to Cameron Johnson down low, and she can't get a shot off. She's going to give it to Taylor Collins, who gives it back to Hannah Boyette. Another three-point shot, no good. Chaylin Mays goes back up way too fast. Misses a shot off the basket. Stillwell with the rebound and the ball. Blocked by Hannah Boyette. Knocked out of bounds by Stillwell. They lost their own possession. Got a timeout, Stillwell. We're going to take it with them. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live. Cheerleaders out on the floor doing what they do best. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs with a 31-19 lead. 2:58 left here in the half. And hopefully the Lady Bulldogs can keep a decent lead. Stillwell giving us the best game we've had. And we did talk about this before we started this ball game. Stillwell is probably going to be the closest game next to the Lady Rangers from Roland that we've probably seen all season. Chelsea Passage, top of the key now. Pass over to the right to McCloria. Passage again. She's going to look down low. Taylon Collins. Spin around. Cameron Johnson going to throw the ball away. Stillwell now. Down low. Chelsea Passage takes the ball away, but runs out of bounds with it. She is quick. And now the inbound pass. 3-point shot from Stillwell. That's good. They have got to stop leaving that girl open. J.C. Soap, 31-22. Lady Bulldogs lead. McCloria dishing it off to Stillwell. Now the Lady Indians bringing the ball up the floor. Soap with another layup. That's another 2 points up and in, good for Stillwell. 31-24. 2 minutes left in this half. Hannah Boyette waiting to check back in. Madison Chambers waiting to check back in. Taylon Collins dishes it off. Down low to Shaylin Mays, and she puts one up off the glass. Good for 2. 33-24 now. Here comes Soap, another 3-point shot. That is good. Rattles around that rim. They have got to stop leaving her open. My gosh.
Soap with 15 points now.
I don't doubt it. Taylon Collins down low now, back out to McCloria. She's going to drive and give it back out to Chelsea Passage, over to Cameron Johnson. Skip pass down to McCloria. Almost gets batted away. There's Passage with the ball, and a 2-point shot is no good. McCloria goes up for a shot and gets nailed, but they don't call it. Here comes Stillwell back down the floor. Taylon Collins swats it away, but they still have possession. Stillwell, another 3-point shot. That's good. Why are they leaving these girls open on the 3-point line? I will never understand. Cameron Johnson was on that one, and she backed off, and the 3-point shot went up. Shaylin Mays down low, shot up no good. Cameron Johnson with the rebound. Over to Passage on the 3-point line, and they're going to call her with a travel. 29.6 seconds left in this half. Hannah Boyette, Madison Chambers coming back into the ball game. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs need all the help they can get at this point. Here comes the inbound pass from Stillwell. 28 seconds left. Stillwell is having a hard time bringing this ball up the floor. And they leave one wide open down low. She puts one up and in for Stillwell. 33-32. Lady Bulldogs hanging on to a 1-point lead. Skip pass over to Hannah Boyette. She tries to shoot a 3 and throws the ball away. That's going to do it. The end of this half. Lady Bulldogs are only up 33-32. We're going to take a break. We're going to listen to some sponsors, and we'll be right back with halftime stats. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live for some halftime numbers. Our halftime stats tonight are brought to you by Boyette Farms in Muldrow. We would like to say thank you to the entire Boyette family. They've been very, very good to us since we started this venture with Muldrow Lady Bulldogs basketball. So a big shout out to the Boyette family and Boyette Farms in Muldrow. Dennis, what do you have for us on stats?
Well, you got to give the Stillwell Lady Indians a lot of credit. They were decimated up at Stillwell earlier in the year, and they came in here to play tonight, and mainly on the strength of 2 players, really. Soap has just gone crazy with 15 points in the first half, and also Livers. Livers finished with 12. Nobody else with more than 2. Isaacs with 2, and Bruner with 2, and then Chaplin finished with that 1 free throw, and that's all the scoring for the 32. But the Lady Bulldogs, somebody nailed a lid on the bucket down here on the Lady Bulldogs in the first half of play, leading the way for the Lady Bulldogs in the first half with 14 points with Chambers, 9 points for Boyette. Collins finished with 9 points, and then 2 points for Passage. and that's all the scoring in the first half. Kind of a slow start for the young ladies, but I think they're going to get untracked here in the second half and bring this one home.
And I sure hope so. If they don't, they're in trouble. They could suffer their second loss of the season. That is not what they need. The newest 4A stats just came out. The rankings came out. Muldrow ranked number 1. Everybody else behind. So, we talked about that being somewhat of a jinx, and I hope that's not the case. I hope the Lady Bulldogs don't see that and think, man, we're the best. We always got to be the best. We can't mess up, because they're going to try to play perfect basketball, and you can't play perfect basketball. They just have to slow the ball down because they're making too many bad passes, and they have to tighten up on defense. If they can shut down Livers and Soap, keep people off the three-point line, and stop those shots, they'll be A-OK.
Well, one thing you can't predict, and you can't predict somebody getting a hot hand, and that's what happened to Soap in the first half. Just about everything she was throwing up was going in, and I'm not talking about just the three-pointers. I'm talking about when she's down there falling out of bounds and just throwing the ball up, and it's going in. So hopefully, you and I both know that Coach Armour will have these girls will have a little splaining to do here at the half, and they'll come back out fired up in the second half and ready to play some basketball. They have the lead here, 33-32. But as I said at the end of the first quarter, I don't remember another game. Now, I didn't get to see the games at the Tournament of Champions, but I don't remember a game where it's been this close at halftime.
We've never had one. 1 point lead at halftime. We've never had one like this. Even the Owasso game, the one that the Lady Bulldogs lost, we went into the halftime way up, and the third quarter is what ended up killing us. And plus the referees, but we're not going to get back into that. But the thing is, I talked a minute ago about Stillwell living and dying by the three-point shot, and they're going to wind up doing that. If they keep taking nothing but three-point shots, they're going to start missing after a while. When you take that break, you lose the momentum, you go to the locker room at halftime, that hot hand starts to cool off a little bit. So Stillwell is going to have to come up with a game plan of their own, because they are not one of the best teams in the state. They're just playing good basketball right now.
Well, and too, not to make an excuse for the Lady Bulldogs, but this is a little bit different deal. You're playing the late game tonight. You're usually by this time the girls are sitting in the stands talking to their families. This is a little bit different, but it's different for both teams. So it's kind of a different situation. And of course, a lot of activity, homecoming. We've got the homecoming ceremony before the games, and so you get out of your routine a little bit when you're in this situation. But we're hoping that whatever the hangover was that the Lady Bulldogs had in the first half, that they get them some hot coffee and a remedy for the second half and come back out and play Muldrow Lady Bulldog basketball.
Yeah, I think it's just a case of the rankitis. They've seen the rankings. They know they're number one. They're just going to have to shake that stigma. It's kind of like that Heisman curse in college football. The Heisman winner goes to the playoffs or the national championship, and they can't get the job done. We see that year after year. Now we see the Lady Bulldogs up high in the rankings. They can't do anything with it right now, so they're going to have to come out hot in this second half. We're going to take another quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors. Another big thank you to Boyette Farms for our halftime stats, and we will be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Hey, while we're staying alive with the Bee Gees here, we're going to bring you back in live. Get ready for this second half of basketball action. There's the buzzer, 33-32. The Muldrow Lady Bulldogs have the lead. Cameron Johnson is going to take the ball out. Queen Cameron, she is the homecoming queen tonight. Inbound pass to Hannah Boyette, and they are back on the home side of the floor on our left. Madison Chambers. Over to Hannah Boyette, back to Madison Chambers. She fakes a shot. Down to Shaylin Mays down low, and she gives it out to Hannah B for a two-point shot, and that is no good. Rebounded by Shaylin Mays. Up for two, and that's good for 2 points. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs 35, Stillwell 32. And there's a shot no good by Stillwell. Taylon Collins bringing the ball up the floor. She gets fouled on the shot. She puts one up and in good. I thought it was going to be a charge, but the ref called it on Stillwell. 37-32, 5-point lead now for Muldrow. Taylon Collins going to the line for one shot. I'm just going to tell you right now, that referee feels awfully bad, so let's just get ready. If you're listening live, get ready for a bad makeup call here in a minute. Taylon Collins, no good from the free throw line. The Lady Bulldogs have got to take it. They have to capitalize on these free shots. There's no way they can keep missing these and win a close ball game. There's a shot for three, no good by Stillwell. Madison Chambers with the rebound over to Hannah Boyette. And she dishes it off down low to Taylon Collins, who goes up for a shot. And she draws the foul. Shot was no good. Now Taylon Collins is going to go to the line. She's going to have an opportunity for two more free points. And if she does not take these free points, there's one missed. Not going well. Still a 5-point lead, 37-32. Lady Bulldogs on top. Second free throw from Taylon Collins. That is good. 6-point lead now, 38-32. 7 minutes left in the third quarter. Stillwell bringing the ball up the floor. They've got to tighten up, the Lady Bulldogs do, on defense here. No more free shots from the three-point line. Almost a drive down low there by Stillwell. Pass to the high post, and now a pass out to the three-point line. Nothing doing out there. Hannah Boyette playing some heavy defense on her lady. And there's a shot up and no good. That's going to be a foul on Cameron Johnson. 2 shots for Stillwell. Let's see if they capitalize on their free points. They're in a position where it would be a good idea for them to. There's the first shot up, and that's no good off the front of the rim. Second free throw up is good. 38-33, back to a 5-point lead for Muldrow. Hannah Boyette bringing the ball up the floor now. And here is a pass to Madison Chambers, back over to Hannah Boyette. Back to Madison on the right side. Back to Hannah B. She fakes a three. Taylon Collins, high post. Madison Chambers for three. Good. Boy, it bounced around the rim, up off the backboard, and right through the net. Ooh, got a little travel there. 3-point shot, no good. Cameron Johnson could not bring that rebound in, and she knocks it out of bounds. 41-33, Lady Bulldogs with the lead. 5 minutes, 57 seconds left in the third quarter. Here's the inbound pass by Stillwell. There's Soap again from the three-point line, and that's her second missed in a row. And they're going to call Cameron Johnson for another foul. And Stillwell will keep the ball here. I don't know what kind of foul that was. Here's the inbound pass in the lane. Snow is glistening. Now here's a pass out to the top. Back out to the high post. 3-point shot again, and that's no good. Rebound pulled in by Taylon Collins off to Hannah Boyette. She's going to slow it down. Now she's going to drive, pass it off to Madison Chambers, back over to Cameron Johnson. Pass to Shaylin Mays, down to Madison Chambers. Madison weak. She weaves in and out, puts up a 2-point shot, and that is good. Almost with a steal is Madison. Now here's the pass off to the left side. Down into the corner. Stillwell cannot hang on to the ball. That will be Muldrow possession. Lady Bulldogs with a 10-point lead, 43-33. 5:09 left in the third quarter. So we saw this big lead by the Lady Bulldogs earlier. They could not hang on to the lead. Let's see if they can keep it this time. Maybe extend it right here with the next possession. Madison Chambers on the right. Over to Hannah Boyette, down low to Shaylin Mays, and she is going to turn around and put one up, and that's no good. Rebound by Cameron Johnson. She goes up for a shot. Gets fouled. Shot no good. Cameron's going to the line for two. Red 15, Lauren Isaac got whistled with the foul on that one. So here's white 15. Cameron Johnson, first free throw, no good. These Lady Bulldogs are throwing free points away. Cameron Johnson's second free throw is good. 44-33 now. 11-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs. Passed up the floor and down low for a 2-point shot off the glass. Good for Stillwell. Hannah Boyette now with the ball on the right side, bringing the ball up the floor. Very slowly, calling for a cut man to the right. There's a pass to Taylon Collins, who goes up and in for two, and that's no good. And Taylon Collins gets whistled for the foul. Stillwell bringing the ball up to their side of the floor. Shot for two, no good. Rebounded by Cameron Johnson. Pass over to Madison Chambers. She's going to bring the ball up now for the Lady Bulldogs, top of the key. Pass off to the corner to Hannah Boyette. Down low to Shaylin Mays, and she's going to go up for two and miss it. She gets her own rebound and goes up for two again and misses that shot. Now we've got a jump ball, and that will go back to Stillwell. Stillwell had the rebound, so that's a pretty smart tie-up by Cameron. Shaylin Mays coming out of the game now after she misses two shots right underneath the basket. Paige Hughes coming into the ball game. Stillwell looking for a place to go. Top of the key now, over to the right. Taylon Collins, heavy defense. Looking for a drive. And Taylon Collins going to get whistled for another foul on the floor. And that will be, it's got to be her, second foul of the night for Taylon. Inbound pass by Stillwell right to Paige Hughes. Paige on a fast break all the way down and gets stripped. Stillwell with the ball now. Madison Chambers looking for some revenge. Almost knocked away by Taylon Collins. So here's a drive down to the middle and a pass down low. Shot is no good, but we've got Stillwell going to the line for two shots. Paige Hughes whistled for the foul. That was a smart foul. Got to make Stillwell earn their points too. 9-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs, 44-35. First shot is up and good for Stillwell from the free throw line. Second shot up now, and that's good as well. Taylon Collins with the inbound pass to Hannah Boyette. 3:20 left in the third quarter. Hannah B, top of the key, looking for somewhere to go with this basketball. Looking for some movement down low. Madison Chambers with the ball out on the left. Hannah Boyette in the corner now. Back to Madison Chambers. Down to Cameron Johnson. Out to Paige Hughes on the right side. Madison Chambers down to Hannah Boyette for three. And that is off the mark. Paige Hughes goes for the rebound and throws it straight out of bounds. I don't know if you guys can hear the Stillwell fans, but they're not happy. They called that out of bounds on Stillwell. Muldrow gets the ball back. Yeah, get mad, Indians. Here's Hannah Boyette down to Taylon Collins. Out to Paige Hughes. Back to Hannah Boyette. Over to Madison Chambers, and Madison throws it straight out of bounds. I don't know what that was all about, but that was not good. Stillwell's going to get the ball back after they cried and complained long enough. NBA three, no good. Taylon Collins whistled for her third foul of the ball game. Timeout. Coach Armour needs a break. We're going to take it with him. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring it back in. The buzzer has gone off. Stillwell Lady Indians taking the ball out here. The ball is inbound. And the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs hanging on to a lead, a very small lead. 44-37 is the score. 2:15 left in the third quarter. Ball at the top of the key. And looking for a drive is Stillwell. There's a dish off, no good. Cameron Johnson with the rebound. Cameron's going to try to bring the ball up the floor here and slow it down. She's going to give it to Hannah Boyette on the right side. Paige Hughes now with the ball, top of the key, over to Madison Chambers. Back to Paige, over to Hannah Boyette on the right side, back to Paige Hughes. Hannah Boyette now Paige Hughes in the corner. Back to Hannah Boyette on the right side. Madison Chambers. Taylon Collins is not getting open down low. I don't know what she's looking for. Madison Chambers now on the left wing. Paige Hughes over to Hannah Boyette. Down to Taylon Collins, and Taylon cannot hang on to that pass. Stillwell is going to get the ball back. Way too many thrown away passes by Muldrow. I don't know what these Lady Bulldogs are doing tonight. But this is very, very surprising. This is the part of the season. We're late in the season. They should have the ship really tight by now. 3-point shot. That's no good by Stillwell. We're going to get an over-the-back foul on Stillwell. That's going to be on number 3, Clesia Bishop. I guess that's how you pronounce that. And we're going to see Shaylin Mays come back into the game for Paige Hughes. Cameron Johnson in, Hannah Boyette in, Taylon Collins in, Madison Chambers in. Inbound pass from Collins to Boyette. Hannah hanging on to the ball. 48 seconds left in this third quarter. And Hannah going nowhere for the time being. I'm going to go ahead and cue up my next commercial. 32 seconds left now in the third quarter. 20 seconds. Nobody coming after Hannah. She's I wish I had a camera. Hannah just standing in the circle by half court, dribbling the ball. These Stillwell fans are never going to let her live it down if Muldrow doesn't score here. Hannah Boyette with a 3-point shot. No good. Into the third quarter, Muldrow Lady Bulldogs lead 44-37. We're going to take a break. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Back with you live, Clint Davis and Dennis McCaslin, todayinfortsmith.com. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs basketball. Fourth and final quarter of the ball game. Lady Bulldogs inbound pass, Hannah Boyette. Over to Cameron Johnson. Cameron looking for Madison Chambers in the corner. Back to Cameron, over to Hannah Boyette. She fakes a 3-point shot and then throws the ball away. Ball swatted away. Madison Chambers down to Taylon Collins, and she puts one up and in for 2. The Stillwell fans, I love it. We're sitting right up in the middle of them. It's like a nest, a big nest of mad people. There's a 3-point shot, no good by Stillwell. Big number 33 took a bite out of the hardwood. Robin Grimmett. I don't know who that is. That's going to be 17 fouls on Muldrow, so that's got Grimmett at the line for a 1-and-1. First shot up is no good. Now that little girl just fell to the floor for no reason. They're trying to get a foul. The referee knew exactly what happened, did not call it. Timeout Stillwell. They need a better strategy than falling to the floor. We're going to take a break with them. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Big thanks to Auto Finders, the Wisenant family. Another shot by Stillwell, no good. Rebounded by Taylon Collins. No, swatted by Taylon Collins. Rebounded by Shaylin Mays. 46-38. Lady Bulldogs still have the lead. It is a sloppy lead. Shaylin Mays out to Hannah Boyette for 3. And that rolls around in and out, no good. That's going to be a jump ball. That's going to belong to Stillwell. Hannah is off tonight. It's safe to say. I haven't. Dennis, do we have very much consistency from any of the scorers?
It's been a rough night. That's definitely been a rough night.
So not exactly the numbers I was looking for, but that's okay. Stillwell with the ball now.
Chambers has had an outstanding game. There's just and just as I say that.
There's a foul on Madison Chambers. The Stillwell fans are going crazy. They think they're going to win this ball game. There's a 1-and-1, no good. Taylon Collins Over to Chaylin Mays, over to Hannah Boyette. Hannah bringing the ball back up the floor. 6.5 left in the ball game now. 46-38. Muldrow Lady Bulldogs hanging on to that 8-point lead. Hannah Boyette in the corner over to Madison Chambers. They're going to have to get somebody open down low. This is not going to work. Chaylin Mays at the high post. Taken away. Stillwell now with a shot up and good off the glass. Inbound pass now. Hannah Boyette bringing the ball up. It gets fouled. Fouled by Caitlin Livers. And Muldrow is going to take the ball back out of bounds here. Big number 33 coming out of the game for Stillwell. Grimmett. Hannah Boyette bringing the ball up the floor. 6-point lead. 6 minutes left. Madison Chambers back over to Hannah Boyette on the right. Down to Cameron Johnson. Over to Madison Chambers. And Madison's going to drive and put up a shot for two. No good. Rebounded by Stillwell, and the Lady Indians are going to bring the ball back up the floor. With a drive and a, nope, not a shot for, there's a shot for three, and that's good. And that is JC Soap, and keep leaving her wide open for these three-point shots. And Stillwell is pulled within three, 46-43 now. That ball's going to get knocked out of bounds by the Lady Indians, and the Lady Bulldogs clearly frustrated. Knocked out of bounds again by Stillwell. You know it's a bad game when the Stillwell fans are louder than the Muldrow fans. Not a peep from the Muldrow side, which is not good because our girls hear no support. Foul on Stillwell, number 5, Julia Bruner. Inbound pass now over to the three-point line. Cameron Johnson was wide open. I don't know what shade of green she was waiting on. There's a pass over to Hannah Boyette, top of the key. Back to Cameron. Skip pass to Madison Chambers. She's going to drive and go up for two. No good. Rebounded by Stillwell. They're going to bring the ball up the floor, and if they pop another three, they're going to tie this ball game with 4:40 left in the ball game. Now they're going to call Madison Chambers with another foul. I believe that's going to be number 4 on Madison. Well, they've got it number 2 on the scoreboard, but I don't think that's her second foul. And I'm not going to say anything about it. Here's a 1-and-1. First shot up. No good. Rebounded by Taylon Collins. So nothing doing for Stillwell on that. Taylon is going to drive this all the way down and go up for two, and that's no good. But she will go to the line. Now this is where she has to capitalize on free throws. You cannot drive to the basket to draw a foul if you cannot make free throws. Taylon's got a lot of thinking to do before she gets set. She struggled all night from the line. Here's a shot up. That's good. 4-point lead now, 47-43. Taylon Collins getting set for another shot. That is no good. Rebounded by Stillwell. We've got a timeout on the floor. We're going to take it with them. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. I didn't mean to cut that off. Call 479-7-TATTOO. Hang on, we got to wait for Dennis to shuffle that microphone around again. Now we're all back online. Here's a little music. Oh, they're going to the hop. 47-43, Muldrow Lady Bulldogs with a 4-point lead. 4:25 left in the fourth quarter. And the ball out of bounds. Stillwell going to pass it in now. Pass over to the right side, dribble back to the top of the key. There's people falling all over the place. Bodies on the floor, looking around for a place to go. Pick set. Taylor Collins up in somebody's face. Three-point shot, no good. We've got a over the back foul. Shaylin Mays went up for that, and we are 1-1 for Miss Mays. She's going to attempt 2 more free throws. I believe she's 2 for 2 for the night.
Shaylin needs these free throws. They're only 4 out of 11 from the line tonight.
Yeah, it's horrible. First shot, up, in and out. Taylor Collins with a rebound, up and no good. And Taylor Collins saves it out of bounds, and Cameron Johnson goes up for a shot, and it's no good. Rebounded by Stillwell. Lady Bulldogs playing the sloppiest basketball I've ever seen. There's a shot up. She gets fouled by Madison Chambers. Stillwell going to the line for 2 shots. This game is nothing but clock stoppage. Shot up. First is good. 44-47. Second shot up is good. 47-45, 2-point lead for the Lady Bulldogs. They have got to score. Pass over to the right to Cameron Johnson. Pass back over to Madison Chambers, over to Hannah Boyette. Back to Madison. Back to Hannah. Skip pass to Madison Chambers. Down low to Taylor Collins. And the pass gets picked off by Stillwell. Lady Indians now with a chance to tie this up, and one goes up for a shot, and that's no good. They're going to call a jump ball. That's going to be Muldrow ball. That was a pretty solid jump ball. There was really no shot involved. Hannah Boyette with the possession now, bringing the ball up the floor. Lady Bulldogs need to extend the lead. They have given Stillwell every opportunity to win this game. Hannah Boyette now driving down low, puts up a shot, no good. Stillwell with a rebound. Bringing the ball up the floor, 3 minutes left in this ball game. Here's a shot. Knocked out of bounds by Muldrow. That will remain Stillwell possession. Hannah Boyette does not look happy with the referee. Pass inbound, 3-point shot. No good. Rebounded by Shaylin Mays. Shaylin needs to stop getting emotional on rebounds. She just got to come down with it and get rid of it. Hannah Boyette with the ball now. Madison Chambers on the left. Hannah Boyette in the corner. Shaylin Mays is wide open down low. Nobody's looking. Cameron Johnson now with the ball. Taylor Collins. Hannah Boyette now, top of the key, over on the left side. Calling for a cut. There's Cameron Johnson. Cameron's a little rattled. There's Madison Chambers with a shot up. That's no good. Rebounded by Stillwell. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. 2-point shot is no good. Rebounded by Stillwell. Another 2-point shot up is good. Tie ball game now. 47-47, 1:55 left in this ball game. Madison Chambers with the ball now. Hannah Boyette, high post. She's going to drive and put up a shot and get fouled. Is this the first time Hannah's been to the free throw line? Unbelievable.
9 points for Hannah tonight, all on 3-pointers.
Unbelievable. The Lady Indians have been playing some really good defense, so I can understand that. But Hannah finally driving in, putting herself on the free throw line, but she does not capitalize on that first shot. This has been the theme for the Lady Bulldogs all night. Missed free throws. Second shot up. Good. 48-47. Lady Bulldogs lead by 1. Stillwell with the inbound pass. Lady Indians looking for a place to go with this ball, and if Muldrow leaves them open, they're going to shoot a 3. There's a 2-point shot. That's good. With a minute and a half left, the Lady Indians have taken the lead over Muldrow, 49-48. Madison Chambers with the ball now. Pass down low to Taylor Collins. That gets knocked out of bounds. Muldrow ball. Stillwell touched that ball last. We're going to have a timeout. Muldrow, and we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Then we're going to bring you back in live. Stillwell fans going crazy. They finally have the lead with 1:12 left in the ball game. 49-48. This is a rare occurrence for the Muldrow Lady Bulldogs to be down with 1 minute left in a ball game. There's the buzzer. Both teams are going to try to take the floor again. Lady Indians coming back out. Lady Bulldogs making their way back out. Lady Bulldogs have the ball out of bounds. Here comes the inbound pass. I bet it'll be up high. Nope, down low to Shaylin Mays, out to Madison Chambers. Taylor Collins at the high post, over to Cameron Johnson. Swatted away by Stillwell, knocked out of bounds, and that will be Muldrow ball. They are going to have to protect the ball, use the clock wisely, and score some points. If not, Stillwell is going to take this game. Inbound pass to Hannah Boyette. They do not want to give this ball back to Stillwell. Cameron Johnson over on the right side. Skip pass all the way out of bounds. Stillwell is going to get the ball back with 50 seconds left and a 1-point lead, 49-48. The Lady Bulldogs might have just given this ball game smooth away like a garage sale. Here's the timeout, Muldrow. We'll take it with them. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. Everybody looking at me and shaking their heads. I don't know what to do. I want Muldrow to win this ball game. They've got to play smart defense. If they start running out of clock time, they're going to have to foul. Here's the inbound pass by Stillwell. They know these Lady Indians are going to hang on to this ball about as long as they possibly can. Ball taken away by Postage and knocked out of bounds by Stillwell. That's going to be Muldrow ball with 40 seconds left. It looked like Stillwell's coach was calling a timeout, but he's not. Postage coming out of the ball game. Inbound pass from Chambers to Hannah Boyette. One of these Lady Bulldogs has to take charge right here. Taylor Collins goes up behind the basket. Puts up a shot, no good, and gets fouled. And the Stillwell fans don't like this one bit. I mean, what do you do? When you foul somebody, you're going to get a foul called. Can't be that surprised. Taylor Collins shooting two from the line. First shot is up and no good. This game would be well out of hand if the Lady Bulldogs had hit all their free throws tonight. Chelsea Postage coming back into the ball game for Shaylin Mays. And Taylor Collins with one more free throw on the way. Lady Bulldogs still down by one, 28 seconds left. Second free throw is no good. Stillwell with the rebound, bringing the ball up the floor. Looking to hang on to the ball or extend the lead. Lady Bulldogs, not a lot of time left. There's going to be a foul on Muldrow. Chelsea Postage commits the foul. We've got two shots coming. Worst case scenario, if she makes these two free throws, the Lady Bulldogs are going to have to come down and shoot a three. And if they can't pull that off, this is over. First free throw is good for the Lady Indians. 50-48 now. 19.2 seconds left. Second shot, good. 3-point lead, Lady Indians. Hannah Boyette with the inbound pass. 14 seconds left. Hannah Boyette calls a timeout. We're going to take it with them. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we're going to go ahead and bring it back in live. 14.9 seconds left. Lady Bulldogs down by 3 points, 51-48. Lady Bulldogs going to have the ball on the inbound pass here. Opposite side of the court, just past half court. Taylon Collins will pass the ball in. Hannah Boyette nowhere to be found. Passage, here's the inbound pass, and she's going to bring the ball up the floor. Hannah Boyette tries to shoot a three. The ball gets knocked out of bounds. Lady Bulldogs with 8.7 seconds left. They have got to score 3 points. Paige Hughes coming into the game for Passage. So we got McCloria, Hughes, Johnson, Collins, and Boyette. There is Taylon Collins. Stillwell's got the ball. Off a turnover with 4.2 seconds left. That's going to be a foul on Muldrow. And this game is over. I don't understand why they wanted to pass down low on that. The Lady Bulldogs needed 3 points. Maybe they hope to hit a shot down low and get a free throw. I don't know. Not a good play. Here's a free throw by the Lady Indians. And they have just iced this ball game. They've gone up by 4 points with 4.2 seconds left. And the Muldrow fans are clearing out like a New York Jets game. Hannah Boyette with a shot up, no good. And the Stillwell Lady Indians win this ball game. 48-53 is the final score. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to hear from some sponsors. We'll be back to talk about what happened. We'll be right back. You're listening to Muldrow Bulldogs basketball, presented by Divine Lines Body Art Studio and Academy in Fort Smith, and brought to you by todayinfortsmith.com. And we're going to go ahead and bring you back in live. We're going to try to wrap this sucker up like a bean burrito. Dennis, what do you have on stats?
Well, I'll tell you what happened. 27 points from Soap is what happened.
Yeah.
Everything she threw up went in tonight, and that's just 14 points for Livers in the game, and that's 31 of their 53 points right there just from those two girls. Rough night for the Lady Bulldogs. Leading the way was Collins. Collins finished with 17. Chambers finished with 11, and Boyette had 9. Checked at 10 because she hit a free throw there at the end. So that's it. I mean, it's just I'm shocked. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to say at this point.
Well, it's basketball. This can happen. I mentioned that with Vian when we saw, Vian's strategy coming into that championship game in Chakota where they just held the ball and tried not to get killed. They didn't let their players play with everything they've got. And I said, you can't do that in a basketball game because anybody could win on any given night. They can beat anybody. And the Stillwell Lady Indians have proven that. They are a pretty decent team, but just like tonight, when you're on, you're on. There's nothing you could do. The Lady Bulldogs were off, and we were missing – what did we go from the free throw line, 5 for 14?
They missed 11 free throws.
Well, I mean, it's terrible. I don't know what the exact numbers were.
That's the difference right there in the game if they just hit their free throws. But maybe it's a learning experience for these Lady Bulldogs, and maybe it's a gut check, Maybe they got complacent, or maybe they got thrown off their schedule or their activity.
Well, that's like I said, that's what happens when you get that number one ranking and you see yourself at the top of the board. Everybody starts a little celebration, and then you come out and you get humbled by somebody. So I'm not really surprised to see this. I could kind of tell at the beginning of the game when I saw Hannah was off. Madison Chambers really didn't get open. She didn't do a whole lot. Taylon Collins was limited. She missed a lot of free throws. Shaylin Mays missed quite a few baskets. point blank range, and you can't do that. You've got to move around. You got to get open,
especially when
you got to win the ball game.
When you're playing a team that gets a little bit of confidence early on, like they did. That I think that was a big key that they pulled back within 1 point there in that first quarter, and they those girls got to thinking we can play with these girls, and disappointing loss, but it is what it is. We'll come back Tuesday night and do it all again.
Yeah, it was 17-2. The Lady Bulldogs, not a bad record. We still have a long way to go. We've got 3 regular season games left. I believe we have Roland, then we have Salisaw, and then we have Howe. So we've got Roland at home, Salisaw away, Howe here, and then we move on into the tournament. So it'll be a lot. There's a lot of basketball left to play. So we'll get that going. And like Dennis said, Tuesday night we will be back. Today is Friday, so we're going to have try to have a good weekend after a loss like this. But we want to say thank you to everybody who has listened live, the boys and the girls game. Muldrow drops a pair at home tonight to Stillwell. And we will be back on Tuesday with more Muldrow Bulldogs basketball.